Це 26.
Today is April 26. Ukraine Media Center Ukraine Forum starts its operation today. Joining us online now is Andrei Vitrenko, the first Deputy Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine, and we will be talking about the education year. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrei. Good afternoon. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Mr. Andrei, the first question is quite simple. When is the study year going to be ending this year? Thank you for this question and thank you for your interest to the education system. It's very important, really. Well, the structure, the period of study during this year is defined by the Article 10 of the Law of Ukraine on Education, and in compliance with this article, the education process should not continue after the 1st of June of any year. And the structure is usually defined by the collective of the educational institution. The article effect was suspended during the martial law, though, and the authorities, the relevant authorities, as to definition of the continuation of the study year, they were vested in the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, who stipulated that during the martial law, the study year will continue since 1st December until the 30th of June of 2023. So, at discretion of the military administrations, depending on the security situation, depending on the military and political situation in the region, the scientific and pedagogical councils, in coordination with the officials of the local governance and military administrations, they take resolutions as to the duration of the study year during every specific period. Well, the next question then is, will it influence the national multi-subject test in any way? Will it influence admission campaign? And what's going on actually with the national multi-subject test, and what should be expect from the admission campaign this year? Thank you for this question too. The schedule of the national multi-subject test is calculated and is coordinated with all the military administrations. It's agreed with all the stakeholders within the ministry, and thus the duration of the study year will in no way influence the admission campaign of the year 2023, which will be unfortunately going under conditions of the martial law. As to the national multi-subject test, I have quite interesting figures. The registration is going on for a third week, and we have 211,000 accounts created, and more than 180,000 people already received notifications of successful registration and ability to create the certificate for the national multi-subject test. So in Ukraine, there will be 169,000 persons who will be passing the national multi-subject test. And abroad, again, I don't want any innuendos when the mass media will take apart this information. So it will be 264 persons taking the multinational multi-subject test abroad. So, and as to the subject that people are going to pick up, the foreign language will be passed by 56,000 people, and 4,000 will pass the physics exam, and 2,500 people will pass the chemistry exam. As to the peculiarities, I want to urge all the parents and all the graduates to be more active in terms of their registration, because the number of places in the centers for national multi-subject test located abroad, the number of places is limited, and now 31 countries confirmed their readiness to continue with the national multi-subject test, so I urge everybody to be more active with registration, specifically those who will pass the national multi-subject test abroad. But again, all the way until the 7th of May, you will be able to amend the place for passing the national multi-subject test, whether if you changed your place of residence or your other life circumstances changed, you can change this place until the 7th of May. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Andriy. We're having questions on the floor. Good afternoon, Olena Litvinenko, Ukrinform. The question is not quite about national multi-subject test, but recently Mr. Minister announced that possible optimization of school disciplines, school subjects will be intensified. So what subjects are we talking about here? What subjects will be taught in school further on out of those who are being taught now? And as to this optimization, what will be the number of subjects taught in school in the end of this optimization? Thank you for this question. For what I know, the Mr. Minister had a meeting on this matter recently, so I want to calm down the public. We will not remove either biology, chemistry or physics from the school program. So the sciences that let the people acquire new skills and knowledges, nothing threatens to those subjects. It's a conceptual negotiation going on, because we have a lot of reports about the overload of the children with the school subjects. They have to master, well, you know, those who study abroad now. In many countries, the school education is mandatory. If children are not registered with the schools, both they and their parents start having complications. So according to the law of the countries who accepted our citizens, we have to adhere to it very strictly. So there will be no cutting of the number of the subjects being taught in schools. So now we're only talking about the complex of reforms related to the secondary education. Nothing threatens in terms of reforms to the subjects which are being currently taught in the secondary school. We had this meeting recently with all the regional administrations. Mr. Minister emphasized the necessity to continue the reformation of the new Ukrainian school, so we act according to the plan of the government, according to the tasks that were set for us by the presidents as to improvement of the national school education system. Thank you very much. So getting back to the reformation of the school, probably one last question. Now the discussion started about the 12-year curriculum in this school, and there are thoughts that we may switch next year, and there are commentaries that no one will expedite this process, no one will highlight it. So what's the situation with this transition to the 12 years curriculum? What should we expect from the ministry, for example? Well, what you should expect from the ministry is the improvement of the education system and all the activities which will make our education system better. As to the 12-year curriculum and profilization of the higher school is in Ukrainian legislation. The transition to the 12-year curriculum should be happening in year 2027 according to the reformation of new Ukrainian school. I think either yesterday or a couple of days ago, the Minister of Education formally posted the information on the official website of the Ministry of Education and Science regarding this 12-year curriculum. So we will do it in a way contemplated by the law of Ukraine in effect. the reform of the new school. So this transition to the 12-year curriculum should be happening in year 2027 with implementation of the 3 years higher school education. Thank you very much. Joining us was Andriy Vitrenko, First Deputy Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine. At 15 o'clock we will be talking with Box Check project about disinformation and Russian narratives that work in Europe and how to counter